What's up, guys? Boy, Murder Bro 2 back on the I'm in Murder Bro 2. Yes. We will be reacting to. Yep, you probably guessed that. Storybooth. Storybooth. Now they made another video.
So one day, I was with my friend, and my friend told me to...
No.
I'll never forget my first proper, all-consuming crush. I was about 8 years old, and she was a teacher from my school.
Well,
my cheeks would sting if she'd look at me, or...
I thought it was a boy teacher, but I know why.
I heard her gentle, song-like voice. I went on to have lots of boy crushes in school, too.
But then you hated the boys for some reason.
I built entire relationships in my head with famous actors and actresses and book characters even. I fancied both Sirius Black and Hermione from Harry Potter. I even made my Barbie dolls kiss one another and also kiss my brother's Action Man toys. During my teenage years, where many of my female friends would describe their heterosexuality by saying that women are just beautiful to look at. Sometimes I thought they were right and figured that's all it was. I was just admiring their bodies. I'd think I was jealous of certain girls, like this one girl, let's call her Jenny. But deep down, I think I knew I was simply attracted to her. I wanted to kiss her, and in the same way, I wanted to be intimate with my then boyfriend. One weekend, then boyfriend and I had a huge fight and went on a break. So I went to a party to distract myself and ended up kissing another girl for the first time in my life. It felt so right and so natural. Bisexuality wasn't a word that commonly cropped up in conversation. Many just figured that us girls would make out with each other solely for the sake of guys at parties in order to gauge their interest. This negative connotation followed me around like a giant, leering shadow monster after my first couple of kissing girls at parties experiences. And it forced me to want to repress and repress and repress. I also started browsing online forums about liking both boys and girls at the same time. Is it possible? Am I just a lesbian in denial? I felt very lost. So confused about my sexual identity. During university, I tried to keep my head down and focus on my studies. But there were beautiful, confident girls everywhere I turned. One day at the college bar, I locked eyes with a gorgeous redhead several times. I could almost taste my own guilt, smell my own shame. I felt trapped. One day, I came upon a book all about bisexuality. I read and I read and I realized I didn't have to prove anything to anybody. I didn't need to be afraid to accept myself for who I am. Coming out as bisexual to those close to me has been one of the most freeing experiences of my life. It's been a huge part of my journey to loving and respecting myself entirely. I'm bi, and I'm rather happy about that.
Okay. Yep, this YouTuber is bi as well, okay?
So when I was younger, all my cousins would come over to my house and hang out with my sister and I. The parents would go to work and the kids would look after each other. #immigrant hustle. Now, one day shortly after our parents left, we were in the middle of playing video games when the house phone rang. Yeah, a house phone. It's like a cell phone, but attached to your house. Oh, God, I'm showing my age. So my older cousin answered it. Hello? Hello? No answer. Weird, but whatever. So we continued playing video games until the phone rang again. This time another cousin answered. Same thing. No answer. Now, at this point, we could have made up rational conclusions such as, maybe it's the wrong number or bad connection, a telemarketer, whatever. But that's not what kids do. Instead, we concluded that someone was definitely trying to murder us, and we should come up with a master plan to stop it.
We're trying to murder
it might have
you.
been around the holidays, and we may or may not have been watching Home Alone, but I swear to God...
Oh, you guys want to shout out, yep.
So
Subscribe,
we decided we were going to
like the video, and comment, yes. Go on any video, okay? Any of my videos.
And by pattern, I mean, we made this conclusion on day 2.
Comment.
Patterns can be 2 days. But either way, this became our new obsession.
Comments, okay?
We received more calls than usual.
Okay, comments, okay?
So we began to
and you'll get a shout out.
Robber, spirit,
I will shout it out next Friday.
The possibilities were endless. Something just didn't feel right. Our brainstorm was interrupted by one of my cousins when they said, "Hey, did you hear that?" Now, I definitely did not, but nonetheless I replied, "Yes, oh my God, what was that?" I didn't want to be the first to die by denying the presence of the demon. I mean, maybe something was in our house. It was time to take action. We gathered all of the utensils in the drawers and headed straight to the master bedroom. The plan was simple. Lock ourselves in the room as a group and create a safe haven. I don't know why people in horror movies always split up. Is this your first day? But before locking ourselves in the room, we strategically placed 3 toys on the floor, spaced out perfectly. Hours went by with us locked in that room, pacing, stressing, sweating, and terrified of the phone ringing. But eventually our hunger got the best of us, and we were in desperate need of Oreos. So we decided to slowly and carefully make our way to the kitchen. After what seems like a lifetime, we finally made it to the kitchen and let out a huge sigh of relief. We're fine. We're just acting ridiculous. Until one of my cousins says, "One of the pigs fell." We freeze. Together, we slowly look over at where we placed the line of piggies and notice that one had taken a tumble. How? Who could have possibly knocked it over? Or rather, what? We freak out. Now, at this point, it's survival mode. It's either us or the demon, and we decide we need to stand our ground. We open every door within the house, each holding the biggest utensil we could find, and screaming. Door, open, jab, fork, scream, repeat. Door, open, jab, fork, repeat. But we found nothing. A couple hours later, our parents came home and everyone left. Since that day, we never received a call. We never felt anything suspicious. I mean, obviously, which demon wants to mess with a bunch of kids holding some forks?
Last.
Oh my God, you totally cut off the clip, had to zoom all the way short because the dog shit is all the way.
Wait, see, we have to take that on my channel, right? No, we've already reacted to that on my channel. If you guys was asking me why that channel is just that video was just an improvement and
when I started high school, I was the only girl in the entire school who wore hijab, and I was really scared, I was nervous, and I stood out so much. I was afraid that people would question me and look at me weirdly, but they didn't, and everyone seemed to accept me, so I started to feel comfortable. So late in the year, I was sitting in class, minding my own business, while a group of guys across the classroom were playing truth or dare. One of the guys from the group comes up behind me, and they pull my hijab off, and I just froze on the spot, and I was so shocked. So I just took my blazer off and I covered my hair. I wanted to go to the teacher. And as I was walking, the guy and his friends come up to me and they try pulling my blazer off my head saying, "No, let me see your hair, let me see your hair." And I felt so attacked and I wanted to cry and I was shivering and I said, "Please leave me alone." Luckily, somehow, I managed to get away from them, and I went up to the teacher and I told her these guys made a date to pull my scarf off and I don't know what to do because people saw my hair. And she spoke to me and she said, "It's okay, don't worry, just quickly go to the bathroom and fix it up." So I ran as fast as I could down the stairs, across the passages and whatnot. I went to the bathroom and I was so shaky. I went to call my dad. I was freaking out. I eventually calmed down and I fixed my hijab and I made it back to class. All the learners were gone and the guy who pulled my hijab off was standing in class with a teacher and she was scolding him, yelling at him and shouting at him, and he looked like he was about to cry. And so at the moment I felt, he learned his lesson. Afterwards, the boy left and my teacher came up to me and she asked me if I was okay and I said yes. And she said if anything happens to me again, then I should let her know. I felt okay after that, and I'm pretty sure everyone forgot about that moment.
So guys, see you in the next video. Subscribe, like, comment, get a shout out.